Cerebrospinal fluid plays a central role in the functioning of the brain. Exactly where do you see this cerebrospinal fluid or CSF? This is pictured in the blue bits in the picture of the brain here, and you see the MRI scan. The light blue and the dark blue parts paint where the cerebrospinal fluid is actually flowing. So what it does, it sloshes around the brain, if you like, and cleans the brain. CSF acts as a shock absorber for the brain, so it gives brain protection when it hits something hard, for example. It also allows the blood to carry the nourishment to different parts of the brain and thereby providing nourishment. And finally, it removes all kinds of excess stuff that accumulates in our brain and removes it from the brain. So in that sense, it's a brainwash. Most of the CSF comes through the two lateral ventricles plus the third ventricle to the brain. And there's also a fourth part which comes from the foramen of Magendie, who discovered this particular flow in our brain. Now, it also enters through our nostrils through what is called sagittal venous sinuses. And if you see my video on the nose, you will see some description of how that fluid actually works through there. The easiest thing that you can do to get CSF flowing to your brain is simple: sleep. The question that the scientists have been pondering is the following. Okay, we know that if you get good night's sleep, then your CSF flows. The question is, can we have the CSF flowing in large quantities when you're awake? The answer is yes. Recently, last year, 2022, there was a paper published. It was a standard RCT study which looks at deep breathing through MRI scan and found that yogic breathing, what we call diaphragm breathing and so on, actually helps to increase the CSF in the brain when you are actually awake. In 2023, just last week, a paper was published which showed that pulsating imagery also produces an increase in the flow of the CSF. Now the question is then, which one is better? Is it better to do it the yogic way, or is it better to do it the pulsating way? The thing that we understand so far is that the pulsating thing actually does not have a lasting effect, whereas the yogic deep breathing method brings a lasting change in your CSF flow. It flows in a much bigger quantity. So what exactly is the imagery technique? If you look at the next slide, you will see exactly what it is. Basically, it's kind of an image that flashes in front of your eyes where your all other sensory organs are shut off.